mangrove snapper. Got him. Decent mangrove snapper for inshore. Not giant, but he's big enough. There's this guy. Where he's passed through. Nice mangrove snapper. Great eating. Again, jig head, same thing I caught the Goliath on. Little jig head and a pilchard. We caught the cast it earlier. He got some buck teeth right there. Put him in the box. So beautiful Florida Keys mangrove snapper. Let's release this guy. Oh, we got him right in the cooler. Are you a fisherman that likes to eat fish, but unsure how to clean your catch? Today I'm going to show you how to fillet what you've caught. So there's going to be a few tools that you need. Number one, you're going to need a sharp knife, a really sharp knife. I'm talking my knives, I can shave the hair off my arm. This happens to be a 7-inch bubble blade tapered flex knife. It's a nice flexible blade. It really works for general all-around purposes. I clean everything from bluegill to mahi with this. Mahi, dorado. In Florida, they're called dolphin, just so you know. Also, you're going to need, obviously, something to store those fish in. We're talking Ziploc bags. Depending on how much you need, I've got gallon size of freezer bags and quart size as well. I prefer the freezer bags because they're thicker. And if you happen to have some fish that you clean a little different way than we're going to do today, but anything with bones, it's harder to poke holes through. And one other thing that I use is a fish cleaning glove. Now, some of you guys are saying that Dan's a wimp because he wears a fish cleaning glove. And that's fine. I don't care. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. But I tell you what, it has saved me from getting stitches multiple times. Also, another reason I use this, besides avoiding stitches, is one, I can work much more quickly. I'm not worried about cutting my hands when I have a fish cleaning glove on my hand. Also, being in its makeup, it's easier to hold on to those fish that are kind of slimy at times. So I really recommend this. Call me a wimp if you want. Don't care. I highly recommend this. If for nothing else, it helps you to hold on to your catch as you clean it. It will make a big difference as you're cleaning your fish, and you'll get it done a lot faster. So, on to the next thing. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll get right into this cleaning of this fish. So a couple other things you're going to need to make this job much easier. One is a fish cleaning area, an elevated platform. I prefer something just above the belly button area to clean fish on. I've cleaned many a fish on top of a cooler, squatting down. Not cool. Hurts your back. You just want to get done. You waste a lot of meat because you're in a hurry. An elevated fishing platform. You can find those online. Bass Pro, Amazon, an elevated fishing table. A lot of them come with a sink. You can hook a garden hose to. Perfect. Check in our description below to find those products along with the bubble blade and the fishing knives. Excuse me, the fishing gloves. And another thing that I like to have is I like to have readily accessible water. Something that you can turn on and off, spray nozzle, something like this guy here, my cleaning table. I like to have a really clean working space. I don't like to clean fish and have fish guts and feces all over my fillets. Some of you don't care. I care, so I try to keep everything super clean, and that'll help your process go along better, and it gets the guts and the scales and everything away from the food that you're going to be eating soon. So cleaning table and a water source are a must-have. It's worth the extra few bucks to get an elevated cleaning station. The ones you can find online through our website here, or channel, they're going to be elevated. It's going to be much easier than bending over. The stuff where you have to bend over, your lower and upper back is going to kill you. So get that cleaning table. It's going to make your life easier. They're going to last forever. When you're done with them, you rinse them off, let them dry, store them, and you're in good shape. So get those other items. Of course, most people have a garden hose, and get yourself a cleaning table. On to the fish cleaning part that you guys have been waiting on. So as you can see here, we have a nice mangrove snapper. He's about probably 12 and a half, 13 inches long. So what I'm going to show you today is going to actually work for most fish of a similar shape, particularly scaled fish. It could be a mangrove snapper, a sheep's head, a grunt, a trout, snook, and even a bluegill, a small bluegill or a larger bluegill that we're going to fillet. Well, this technique will work well. So, getting right into it, I got my cleaning glove on, I got my nice sharp knife. So we got a fin here on this mangrove snapper, and it will lay down inside of a bit of a channel that's down the fish's spine here. So in that channel, it's an easy way to enter into the fish with the blade of the knife. So I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to hold the fish's head arm over here, holding the fish here. His back is toward me. I'm going to take the tip of my blade and insert it in this little channel, and I'm going to work it all the way down to the tail. So watch how I do this. Of course, the blade is facing away from me. So I insert it into the little channel there. I'm going to slide it down the fish's back all the way to the tail. I'm going to push it through over the top side of the backbone, cut it through. Now I'm going to take my knife and roll it over. I'm going to work this knife back toward me like this. Now I'm pushing down here as I make that first cut. Now I'm going to take my thumb and healing these fingers on the belly of the fish. I'm going to lift up. You already see the spine in there. So I want to make sure I've cut that. I'm picking that up, and you can see in there how this fish, there's a spine. You can see the meat there, so I'm going to run my knife along here. Now that spine is humped up a little bit like that. So you're going to want to take your knife and go change your angle of your knife and work your way down a little bit. Now, as you've seen, I didn't just cut. I'm trying to get the most yield off this fish. I don't want to kill a fish and not get the most yield out of him as possible. So again, I'm pushing with these fingers, lifting with my thumb, and now I'm over the spine and running the blade of my knife down the spine. You can hear that. That's the spine there. Now we've got this fin here. Cut through. Try to get on top of this little anal fin. There we go. You can see I'm working down here. Now, a lot of guys go ahead and cut this off and keep going. What happens is when you're laying him on the table, his back is crooked. This is exaggerated, but it's crooked. So I'm going to leave that fillet on there and switch to the other side. Okay? The reason I'm doing that is I want this fish to lay flat. So here we go. I'm going to take the blade of my knife. Again, now my blade is facing away from me. I'll push this knife blade in there, just not get the most yield out of him as possible. So again, I'm pushing with these fingers, lifting with my thumb, and now I'm over the spine and running the blade of my knife down the spine. You can hear that. That's the spine there. Now we got this fin here. Cut through. Try to get on top of this little anal fin. There we go. You can see I'm working down here. Now, a lot of guys go ahead and cut this off and keep going. What happens is when you're laying him on the table, his back is crooked. This is exaggerated, but it's crooked. So I'm going to leave that fillet on there and switch to the other side. Okay? The reason I'm doing that is I want this fish to lay flat. So here we go. I'm going to take the blade of my knife. Again, now my blade is facing away from me. I'll push this knife blade in there just a little bit. I don't need to go deep. I want to go shallow. I'm just trying to get a little cut and track for this knife to ride on. Oh, got that fin. Okay. Let's work our way up. like that to the top. Now, look what I've done. I've flipped my knife over. I'm coming back toward the blade toward myself. You're going to be careful. I'm going to run right down along this fin, like this. When I get about there, I'm going to push the knife through over the top side of the backbone. Run it there like that, and work it on through. Now, I went from this. Now I'm back to the edge of the blade facing away from me. So I'm going to run this blade right down the back of this fish. I usually make 1 or 2 cuts, usually 1. Now you see what I'm doing. I'm using my knife, the tip of my knife, to lift up. I'm going to grab that with my thumb. I'm kind of heeling this over, lifting. Now I'm going to run this knife down the spine. Again, this is the reason I do this, is to get as much yield off of our fish as possible. All right, now you can see the top of the backbone there. It'll be a little harder for you to see, but I'm going to take and lift this up. I'm going to get my angle over that backbone right there. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we're coming to the lower portion of the fillet there. Now we're going to switch around here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and cut up on head. A lot of people cut like this. If you change the angle from this to this, you'll get another bite of meat. So I go under the fin, and as you can see, I'm cutting toward the head, and my hand, which is gloved, going there like that. Now I'll cut all the way through to the belly, spin him around, make sure we're cut through. Now I'm lifting again here, and I'm cutting along the top of the rib cage. Now there's things that are called pin bones. So we got to cut through those pin bones. So you see I make 1 cut here. I'm going to go back this way. You can hear them cut. Now you can start to see the rib bones. I'm going to work my knife down along these rib bones. Like that. There we go. There's our first fillet off of this guy. Okay. Now we're going to flip him back over and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to spin him around. Get under that fin, work my knife in there like so. Now again, I'm lifting up, cut down along those pin bones like that. Now you see the pin bones are come along right here. So now we're into by the rib bones. Now I'm cutting and kind of following those rib bones down and around. There we go. You can see the skin there. Cut that off. And this here is a bit of waste since he's a small fish. We'll pitch that aside. Now, what we have is our beautiful fillet. In this area here, you can take it and run your finger along. These are the pin bones that you've just cut through. So I'm feeling those pin bones. They go to about right there. So I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to run it right along the edge of those. Take my knife off. Right along the edge of those pin bones. Straight down. Same thing on this side over here. I'll run my knife down the edge of these pin bones here. Like that. There we go. Feel a little bone there and cut around that. Very good. Now, what I like to do is take my fingers and push down with my fingertips here. And hold that guy down. Take my knife and go cut straight down, and then immediately turn my knife. You can see while they're just the skin there. I'm going to take my fingers and hold that down really hard. I'm going to work my knife through that with a slight bit of angle and work all the way through the fillet. The fillet is off. Our skin is no good. I got a little deep on that. We have another fillet to do, so I'll show you a little further. Now I'm going to take this where I've cut, make sure I get these pin bones out. I'll cut all the way through. There we go. Now I'm going to lift this up. The rest of these pin bones out. There we go, and our fillet is clean. Now all we need to do is rinse that guy and package it up. I'll switch around to the other side and give you a different view from the other direction. Okay, on to our second fillet. Again, we have these pin bones right in here. So you can hear them. A little bit of pin bones there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife again, and you can see this little bit of a line here. I'm going to work my knife in, nice gentle slice through there. Make sure it's nice all the way through to the skin. On the other side, we're trying to avoid any bones in this. I've got kids, wife, and me don't like to eat bones. So we've cut that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold this tail again. Make sure I got you in the frame here. There we go. I'm going to hold this tail. Take my knife and cut down and immediately cut and turn. Oh, turn the knife. So now I'm going to work my way through this fillet. Now you want to make sure it's not way over here on the table. You're going to be near the edge because you got the handle of your knife. Got the handle of your knife here, so you don't want to be hitting that edge. So we're going to be holding this down, working our way through this fillet all the way down. There we go. Skin, nice and clean. We'll pull this pin bones out. Throw that away. There's a bunch of bones in there. And now you got a beautiful fillet of mangrove snapper, or whatever it is that you happen to be cleaning. Time to rinse and package. So there you go. That's how I like to clean a fish. I feel like I get the most yield off of a fish by cleaning it that way. It takes a little bit more time than just sticking your knife in, slicing it through. But I don't like to waste what I catch. Remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you're interested in any of the products that I've discussed here with you today, the bubble blade, the fish cleaning glove, and a cleaning table, look in the description below, and you'll see that we put a link there for you to purchase those. And remember to always take care of your catch. Ice them real well. I like to ice my fish. I try to never go fishing if I'm planning to eat fish. I try to never go without some ice, so I can ice those fish, keep them good and fresh, so you have a great table fare when you're done. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video. Oh yeah, oh yeah.